As Edo and Ondo governorship elections draw ever closer, stakeholders in election matters have asked for more transparency and improved judicial processes to aid the system. Experts call for more engagement as the nation's youthful population, with the nation's youthful population to enhance better understanding of the processes in achieving better governance. Also on Political Update today, the dimensions from the left as protests in the nation took some unexpected turns. We have this and more on the program. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. The federal government of Nigeria says it will not tolerate any foreign interference following reports of some violence associated with nationwide protests in some parts of the country. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga stressed that no nation tolerates foreign interference in domestic affairs, and that Nigeria is not an exception. The minister says the nation is determined to deepen its democracy.
Would certainly not encourage such political opportunism when it exists in other countries. Nigeria will always work with other countries to ensure that issues to do with pulling down a system, a legitimate system, a constitutional government are addressed jointly. And I think this is what we have to bear in mind as well as we continue to partner with each other.
Interestingly, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu haven't addressed the nation a few days back, which indicates strongly that he's indeed a listening leader. In doing that, he did not only rule out the giant strides recorded by the administration, but also went ahead to extend an olive branch to the protester for a dialogue.
While the All Progressives Congress APC Caretaker Committee Chairman in Rivers State, Tony Okocha, has described as unfortunate the destruction of the APC state office in Port Harcourt. He notes that the violent protests and looting cannot be justified in any way.
The ongoing nationwide protest took a different turn as protesters in Rivers State took to destruction of public infrastructure and other businesses. The Rivers State office of the All Progressives Congress was not spared. The Rivers State chairman of the APC, Chief Tony Okocha, described the destruction as unnecessary and called on the security agencies to beef up security to avert future occurrence. To the protesters to give President Bola Tinubu more time to attend to their yearnings.
Our secretariat was attacked and they left us with a note that they are coming back again. And I don't know whether coming back again will be today. They vandalized the secretariat complex. We preempted them because we anticipated what they would do.
While sympathizing with those whose property were affected, Chief Okocha condemned the protest in its totality.
The security agencies, whose responsibility it is to protect life and property, should beam their lights, the searchlight, on that structure. We need heavy security because it is clear that there is an attempt to destroy the place.
He said the president in his broadcast outlined numerous policies geared towards the development of the nation and urged Nigerians to support the federal government and be hopeful.
The past week has seen an intensified and sustained effort by governments at the national and sub-national level to ensure communication with the citizenry in the direction of states, articulating the intention behind policies introduced, the gestation period, and the anticipated outcomes. This is naturally not unconnected with current realities which precipitated nationwide actions. Former APC National Secretary, Architect Waziri Bulama joins us to discuss the political dimensions of such interactions between the governing and the governed. Architect, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
A quick look at the plans laid out last year by the president in addressing issues in key sectors of the economy and the deployment of a delivery unit to ensure these initiatives in the priority areas are actualized. However, many seem unaware of some of these intentions. From the perspective of the party and other key stakeholders, are you carrying everybody along?
Well, at the moment, that actually what the events and the times leading to these protests and the current standoff in the country regarding the protests, their planners and so on. It's like there's a stalemate, and it's like people have not been sufficiently convinced, because you can feel it. I mean, there's still a great deal of restiveness in the country. There's a great deal of anger and frustration. So even though the president's programs are well conceived and they are well intentioned for the country, the president too has done a lot in ensuring these programs are explained to Nigerians that they have long-term benefits, that at the moment there are pains which have to be borne, and with equanimity. The anger is still there. So I believe there is need for more engagement and more intensive reach out to the Nigerian people.
Let's say, what's the role of the party in all this? You have, told us some of the things that your party advertised in the course of Nigerians also interacting with you. Do you just leave it for a 4-year cycle, or you leave the people who have been appointed into the administrative positions at the state, the subnational, and the national level, to just get ahead with it? Won't we expect the parties to also, the party to also engage, on these, initiatives and policies as well, apart from just folding hands and looking at only the political windows or the electoral windows to perhaps advertise your policies?
Well, you see, the party is a formidable, organization. The party, especially the APC, for instance, is a party that has a national outlook and reach. It has so many organs from the national, convention to the polling unit structure. They have, organization around all this strata, of society. And but unfortunately, in this Fourth Republic, it is not just the, the APC, but there has been no serious effort at consolidating political party as an institution. The parties mostly are very active during elections. They prepare, candidates for elections, and they come up with programs and so on. But after the elections, virtually the parties go back to sleep, and they only, become active during off-cycle elections and so on until the, the fourth year, when there is another round of election. This is, one huge opportunity actually that is not properly utilized, because if elected leaders, work with the party, they have an existing platform that can carry the, the government's programs and projects and that to all the nooks and crannies of this country, to all, these people would also own up, to all these policies and programs and the ideas, so that they would engage Nigerians on daily basis. So really, this is one opportunity that is not properly utilized. There are also many other institutions of governance that are dormant, really, that are not properly utilized to engage the public, properly. You see, this democracy, the way I see it, we are still, learning. We are still, supposed to review and adjust. And I believe going forward, I believe the parties, and especially our own party, would be brought into, engagement, with the public.
All right, let's look at issues of getting, so to speak, the kind of governance that, people at the grassroots are yearning for. The current administration has been bullish in making sure that, for instance, financial autonomy gets back to the very grassroots by getting it to the apex court and getting it done in terms of financial autonomy for the local governments. Just before, all this push and shove came, that was done. Are you owning it as a party and, letting, the Nigerian industry understand that there's an opportunity now for instance, next cycle of elections at the grassroots level to know that we are likely to see perhaps a more robust kind of leadership at the grassroots level as against what it used to be, where we had caretakers across the country?
You see, the move to get autonomy, for local government is a very noble, welcome and timely effort by the president and the Minister of Justice, Prince Latif Fagbemi, saying, approached the Supreme Court, put up a very good argument, and he has been following this issue with a wholehearted, conviction, and it is timely. It is time that we allow democracy flourish, at the local government level, because the local government level is where all the citizens of this country, including the president, live. At the place where citizens live, there should be the face of governance, the face of authority, responsibility, citizenship, and also, government effort in maintaining, schools and hospitals and clinics, and there should, local governments would ensure that, citizens' identity is properly managed, at the local government level, and the resources meant for these local governments are also properly utilized. I think this is a very welcome development. But on a bigger note, you see, we need to, just as we did around the turn of the 25th year of democracy, 2 months ago, or when we assessed the 1 year of the leadership of the country under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we need to pick the lessons and implement them, because the democratic system, as well as the governance system in this country have a lot of flaws. These flaws did not really start today. They are problems that, governance issues, for instance, are problems that have been inherited. And there are some of the problems are up to 30 years old. And then the democratic system itself is in need of a lot of reforms and a lot of changes to ensure that we promote inclusiveness in this country. Citizens should not feel politically alienated, should not be far from government. They should own government decisions, government programs, government, they should follow leaders. That gap between citizens and government through politicking, should be breached. And the governance should also be done in such a manner that government impacts more on citizens' lives. And there are also, Pisayo, certain fundamental flaws within, our country. That the entire political elite have to understand. Nigeria was a medium-income nation in the early 80s, but it collapsed into a low-income nation. The Minister of Budget, for instance, just a few days ago, said that today's budget of 20 trillion is equivalent to the 1999 budget of this country. When in 1999, the population of Nigeria was just around 150, 160 million. Today we have 230 million, and then the budget is only that much in terms of quantity. Yeah. And also, you see, when you look at Nigeria and compare it to other countries, the minister said that Nigeria, is a third world country like Brazil. Brazil has a similar population, like Nigeria, 230 million or thereabout. The budget of Nigeria is $20 billion a year. Brazil budgets 700 billion, a year. All these statistics, we have to understand, the political elite have to understand this, and then as if that's not enough. You see, the little that we have, 80% goes into recurrent expenditure, leaving only about 20% for capital expenditure. It is capital expenditure that is invested in development. What is invested is just about 10, 15, at most 20% of the budget. We are not investing in progress and development. We are not investing to promote education, promote healthcare, promote infrastructure, promote electricity and power supply, and so on. Look at power supply, for instance. Just 2 days ago, the minister is celebrating that he has attained like 5,000 megawatts, and he said that by the end of this year, he will hit 6,000 megawatts. What is this? In terms this is so small for us to have uninterrupted power supply, to power industry, to keep us comfortable in our offices. You know, look at the crisis around fuel supply. Look at the, information, for instance, that the, speaker gave out to the country about a month ago, that, 400,000 barrels of crude oil are stolen daily in Nigeria, amounting to 7 billion in the first 6 months of this year. I mean, how can we, accept that? We need to, or even solid minerals, for instance. This country has over 30 solid minerals. The minister, for instance,
I'll keep a little bit for
most of these, solid minerals are just cut it away illegally.
Just a moment, sir. I'll keep a little bit for the closing line, so that I just take just two stories, so that we'll come and close now.
All right.
Time is not our friends. The first Interparty Advisory Council roundtable on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability has ended in Abuja. The council says this is in consonance with its vision to consolidate and deepen democracy by ensuring an environment conducive for successful elections, political stability, and peaceful electoral processes in Nigeria.
It's the maiden series of the IPAC Roundtable. It aims to chart a way forward to deepen the nation's democracy. The Council's chairman, Yusuf Dantale, says the decision to commence the roundtable series with the judiciary arm of government is due to the fact that judiciary is fundamental to the growth of the nation's democracy.
The judiciary plays a crucial role in Nigeria's democratic sustainability. As a political leaders, we must work collaboratively to strengthen the judiciary, uphold the rule of law, and protect the principles of democracy.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Jibrin Samuel Okutepa, set the pace for the roundtable discussion on the role of the judiciary in Nigeria's democratic sustainability.
The issue of judicial reforms, the role of the electoral process, we have to be able to look at that, because a bundle of work for electoral systems has been given to the judiciary, and that should not be the case.
We expect so much from our judiciary.
Chairmen and representatives of the 19 registered political parties attended the maiden roundtable.
Watching political updates on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Akita Waziri Bulama, former National Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, is still here with us. Akita, before we let you go, our time is on our friend, a post-mortem in terms of interaction between the governor and the governor and the governed very shortly as we go on, and leveraging on our experiences of the past 25 years of the Fourth Republic.
All I've tried to say, is that there are, the underlying causes of this anger are not today. They are, built up over many decades. But at the moment, what one would suggest is for us to have a serious post-mortem, about on this protest, to learn lessons so as to, avoid any such, fracas or such friction or such boiling over of, public sentiment, negative public sentiment in the country. Because when this kind of thing happens, as we initially warned, it is going to generate a lot of crises, a lot of opportunists and hawks are going to, jump into it and exploit it to deepen chaos and destroy this country, destroy our democracy. And I believe a good post-mortem involving professionals, politicians, including experts, across, the whole country would generate for us, what we can do to learn, to improve, governance on our governance models, on our democratic model, and bridge the gap between citizens and the state.
Democracy again has another opportunity in a month or so in Edo State, and in another couple of months in Ondo State. What are your expectations, not as a party man now, but as an academic looking at the democratic space and the yearnings of the people?
Well, these elections are expected to be free and fair and transparent, because the parties that are running are have all matured, and they know of the system, and they are coming up with ideas, and they are engaging the citizens very well. And I believe that in all these two states, we're going to have free and fair elections, and the elections will be credible, and the winner would emerge, to continue the process of governance and democratization in the country.
Akita Waziri Bulama, former National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, thank you very much for your time at this time. And of course, we'll be back again on Tuesday for another package. Between now and then, play your politics for the greater good. And of course, think what you can also do for the country, just as you are hoping to get one or two things that the country can do for you at a time. My name is Fisal Gofi, thanking you for staying tuned. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and keep it locked on Africa's finest and largest, the Nigerian Television Authority, for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.